Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Wow, such energy, unbelievable. Hayoim, shleisha v'arboim yoim, sheim shishosha v'ois, v'yoim echad boimer, or loimer. I have to first give public yeshukayach to Reb Nissan Gans, Reb Yossi Klein, Reb Shlomi Rosenberg is all the way in the back corner. I see you, Shlomi. Gary Ben Moshe, or Gershon Ben Moshe, Gershon Ben Moshe, who came all the way from Eretz Yisrael. Tomer Levy, who came all the way from Eretz Yisrael, been here for a week, setting things up. Mark Ashkenazi, I noticed some of probably these guys that are running MDY from America are guys from Muncie. Mark Ashkenazi, Shlomi Rosen from Muncie, Yosef Klein from Muncie, even Molandi from Muncie. Who else? Uncle Phil. That's right. Yom Yerushalayim. He doesn't miss Yom Yerushalayim. He's in Eretz Yisrael. Who else? I know Yonatan Itzkowitz. Is he in the house today? Here he is. Right in front of me. Come here. Thank you for what's the word I'm trying to say? Fielding all those calls. By the way, we are live in Muncie, Kodesh, where my parents used to live for a little kufa. My mother was a principal here in Billyack of Ramapo, and she's actually nifter here in Muncie. Levi was here, so I have roots in Muncie. I have an uncle here, Eliyahu Stefansky lives here, and some cousins. So very, very well familiar with Muncie. So Yishkoyach for having me. I want to say Yishkoyach to everybody that helped out here. Everybody, and every single one of you for coming out and be Mekadeshim Shemayim. There's a big Kiddush Hashem coming together. Achdus. Just watching, I saw right in front of me one picture I took. If you wonder why I took my phone, I want to take a picture of more of a modernish guy with a ring on, dancing, holding on to a Hasidish guy with the Sikraz, just dancing and singing together right here in the front. So Yishkoyach to that chizuk, and I think HaKadosh Baruch, I'm sure, is looking down on tonight's event and is shepping nachas from Klal Yisrael. Shepping nachas Levi, we should have more and more of this actus. Oh, Lzaicher Nishmas, Eli Mirasi, Rusvas, Mordechai. So I just want to, because we're it's a regular shir, it's already Daf Gimel, it's not the first, but it is Haschalas and Masechta in a way, and we're just going to treat it as Haschalas and Masechta tomorrow, Haschalas and Masechta in Lakewood. I'm going to go through some of the reasons and excuses that people have. We did some yesterday, we'll do some today, something different maybe. But real quickly, I just want to read this one right over here. Many thanks to you and Yoshi for the amazing maps and explanations of Medina Sayyam. I've learned Gittin twice before, but I've never understood the first mission as well as I did today. I'm very much looking forward to the rest of Gittin. Siddur Shabbat came over to me yesterday, a 16-year-old. He said, I'm learning Gittin in Yeshiva, but I just realized what the first mission really meant. I didn't know Mizrach, Ma'ariv, and you put the whole thing together. Shkoyach to that. By the way, I joined Yeshiva in the middle of Shabbos. I've since completed Shabbos, and I'm working on brachas. In other words, he came out from the beginning of Shabbos, but he missed the beginning of the Shabbos and brachas. He made that up, which is very interesting because I got another email today. It's 2 emails saying the same exact thing, so I'm going to read the other one also. Tadar Rabba from Joe Schreiber. Here, Rabbi Isai, is the scene last night. What a Kiddush Hashem was in Borough Park. 1,241 people scanned at the door. 1,241. That's without the people that snuck in from the back door. Oh, and one last email. I have fantastic news to share. Today, after 1,165 days, 1165, I finally completed Masechta Shabbos from this Daf Yomi cycle. You hear? In one day, I got 2 emails like that. People that finished Masechta Shabbos. Like many others, I started the Yomi cycle with geschmack and ambition. Then came COVID, getting married. I fell off the bandwagon, made a mistake, tried to catch up with the Daf. That's another reason why I'm reading this is because he tried to catch up. So he fell off the bandwagon. And then came the wonderful day when I joined MDY, Nidarim Daf Mem. Since then, I've been doing the Daf daily, and since I have daily kvias of learning, I was able to add in more Masechet Shabbos, learning at night, on cruises, planes, trains, and more. It's definitely about the Yomi. Thank you, Rav Eli, and MDY, for the things that happened, and thank you, my dear wife, because of the time. Fine. Your Talmud, Pini, Kreisel. I just want to show real quickly the Siyum in Toronto. They did a phenomenal job. They said it's something, a Siyum about explosion because of the Saita. And then he says it was an explosive Siyum. We had close to 100 people that came out, the MDY Siyum in Toronto. We raffled off popcorn makers because they explode, breeder water filters for the bitter water, and bitter scotch. In the bottom picture to my left is Yishai Norris, who drove 2 hours from Buffalo, New York to join the Siyum. My right is Reb David Schwartz, who plays keyboard for us every Siyum. And after this is Ari Lau speaking, Shkoya. And here is just one more picture, and then we're going to go into the program. The Rav Eli, please attach picture of Manchester Siyum. Hadron was by Aaron Burst, 14 years old. Just joined Saita. The Oilam were asking, when is the UK tour happening? Here? It was one of the best times that we had going to Manchester. Unbelievable Siyum over there. And we're mamish looking forward to doing it again soon. The Masechta is not sponsored by anybody yet. The Koilo, we have a Koilo that learns Daf Yomi every day, and they take tests on, last test they took was a 1200 Daf test. Anonymous from Lakewood sponsored the Koilo. The Paras HaChodesh Nishmas Chai Bas Yosef, Paras HaChodesh Eli Nishmas Chai Ben Moshe, Paras HaChodesh Lini Nishmas, Rav Eliyahu Ben Yosef Menachem Mendel. Paras HaYoim, brain intact, should be Zochet and Nafs Kedusha, tremendous success in all my endeavors. Paras HaYoim, Mordechai Sapoznick, Zech Nishmas, his uncle, Danny Silber, Boruch Daniel, R Zev Levi Hakohein, may his neshama have an aliyah. The art of the month is sponsored for complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi ben Leah. Let's start. Yesterday I showed this get. I'll show it to you. You probably have never seen a get live. A get has 12 lines, 12 shuras. Taisus on Daf Beis Amud Aleph brings the Ri. He says the reason why it has 12 shuras is because get, Gimel and Tes is 12. Here it is. You can see the sirtut, the lines in the. What's the problem? There's a problem with the. Okay. Now, I want to introduce to you our characters. Well, some. We're going to introduce them slowly. Yesterday, I introduced you to the shliach. Here's a guy writing a get, and he gives it to his shliach. Shliach, if you haven't seen this, is ganz geschmack. This new shliach that we have, every Masechta we have new characters. L'koved, Masechtas Gittin, here's our new shliach. If you don't recognize him, he used to look like this. Now, wait till we get through the Masechta. We have somebody screaming out these postulators. You're going to be arrested in a second. Now they're standing outside. Nebuch, for the shliach, he has a hard time riding his bike, and the shlichus has a hard time getting up the flight of stairs to the plane. We're going to have a shtickle interesting matzav during this Masechta. Rav Eli saying, who's the husband? Who's the husband? I got to introduce you to the husband. This is one of a kind, this husband. Here he goes. You ready? Reb Don Ben Trump. Here's Stigl Chassidish. Maybe we'll call him Stigl Tuna Beigel. Reb Don, he lives in a place in Florida. We're not going to go into the name. Mar-a-Largo, whatever. A Mokum in Florida. Kitzur, he made him a shliach, and he sent him from Florida to Eretz Yisrael, and he goes to the airport, and the story will continue Be'ezer Hashem on a different daf and a different day. So if you look closely over here, you could see, are you able to zoom in? Here's his name so that nobody uses his get chas v'shalom. I explained yesterday, it's extremely, extremely difficult to write a get. Nobody will write you a get. It's illegal in Eretz Yisrael to write a get. If you write a get, it has to be torn up immediately, that somebody shouldn't use it. It was very, very... I had to leave the country, the kids are. So, but this is noch shash that somebody has the same name as this character, Donald Ben Trump. And Be'ezer Hashem, should I give it away who the woman is? I'll just say, Yisichi lichi ant in the sea, Orpa, the Zechariah, Oprah. Bas, okay, whatever. Not going to go into it. For a different cheer. All right. So, the Masechta starts with, I can go home to help, Be'etzem. That's pretty much the whole daf, but if we'll be Ma'arech, we'll do a little bit of Rashi, Tosfos, just to explain the Inyanim. The Mishnah begins and says that if somebody brings, if we have whatever his name is, I don't even know what to call him, the Chacham Adar is a shliach and he brings a get from Florida to Eretz Yisrael, he has to say very specific things. And if he doesn't say, the get is possible. And he has to say 4 words. B'fanai nechtav, I saw them writing the get, but b'fanai nechtam, I saw them signing the get. Why? Why does he have to say those things? So we had a machloikis yesterday between Rabba and Rava. Rabba that has a hey at the end, he says lishma with a hey at the end. We're concerned that in Chutz La'aretz, they don't know how to write a get with the intent of this woman. You have to write it with the woman that you're writing it for in mind. So he has to testify to that. Rava, on the other hand, says no. I agree that it has to be written lishma, but the concern is that perhaps there won't be Eidim to be Mekayim the get, to authenticate the get. So I say, I'm authenticating it for you. I was there, I'm Eid Echad, and I'm testifying that the get is a kosher get. So the Gemara says, since when is one Eid believed? We don't believe Eid Echad. So Gemara says, in fact, you don't need any Eidim. You don't need Eid. You have a get, 2 witnesses, you don't need Eidim. Chachamim said you need Eidim, but because of Aguna, we're concerned that she's going to remain for the rest of her life without a get. We're makel that 1 Eid is enough. And that's where we're up to Daf Gimel Amud Aleph on the top. Says the Gemara, top line. Hi Kulu. What are you saying that it's you're going easy on this woman, that you're saying that you only require 1 Eid? Chumru. It actually turns out really bad for her. If you said to begin with they need 2 Eidim, then the husband can never come and say that it's not a good get. And if he says it's not a good get, he's actually going to ruin the get. It becomes possible, says Tosfos. Chad. Now, I should have said it in this line. Chad, if there's only 1 Eid, Asibal Uma'arer, then the husband could come and say that the get is no good. I never wrote it. So get mezuyah. Upasalai. We'll make it possible. So you made a chumrah here. It's a kul that's really a chumrah. You made it worse for this woman. Now she has a get that she's going to have big issues with if the husband decides to mess her up. Says the Gemara, Kivin Omar Mar b'fnei kama noisalah. We know that you have to give the get in front of how many people? You have to at least give it in front of 2 people, perhaps even in front of 3 people. So Mela Mikara Meidak Daye, who's going to be very careful? The Shliach will be extremely careful and look very much into it. And when the husband says, bring this get to Chutzlar, to Eretz Yisrael, he's going to look into it. He doesn't want to make himself look like a fool. And Memela, we know that since the Shliach was very much medayik, we're not worried that the husband later on is going to come and ruin it. If he comes, we don't believe the husband. Now we believe the Shliach 100%. Because no one in their right mind will be a Shliach without making sure that it's true that the husband, he's going to look like a fool. People are going to make fun of him. If he comes and he says, I know that this get is a good get, then we don't believe the husband. Okay? Ask the Gemara. Now that was Rabbah. Now what about Rava? Here's Rava on the screen. Rava says the problem is Edom, right? We just have to not get mixed up between Rabbah and Rava. They sound the same. Rabbah is Lishma, Rava is Edom. According to Rava, it says, the problem is that if you come from a very far place, there are no Edom that will authenticate it. Why is this Eid Echad believed? We should have two. Anytime you come with a shtar to Bezdin and say, so-and-so owes me money, you need to aid him. So, this is mamish easy for us. Easy Gemara. By the way, if you take all four first daf of Masechtas Gittin, you put them all together, it's not even one daf of Saita. Look at those daf. I mean, you can open up your thing here. Is that unbelievable? The amount of words, just the words of Masechtas Saita. Okay, I don't think you have it here. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Massive daf. Not only that the sugya here is repetitive in a way. It keeps on going back, Rabbi Rava, and here, this is the sugya that we had yesterday. The reason why one aid is believed, one aid is believed when it comes to Yisurim. Like if somebody says, I took Trumas Maisris, whatever it is. Rashi says, I don't know where the Gemara got it from, or he doesn't say that, but he doesn't bring him a car. Tosfos says, V'safar la shivas yamim, v'safar la shivas yamim, that a woman is believed on Tumen Tahara of herself. She's believed. Maybe she needs aid. No, she's believed. Her husband can believe her. The same question we had yesterday. When do you say that one aid is believed? And I showed this yesterday from our in-house Shoichet, from Weissfish, become Chochem. I actually saw him do Shchita in Europe. I was in the Shlachos and he was doing Shchita, and he's very, very versed in Allah and everything. And he sent me this picture, he sent me many pictures. This is a Chatichas Chaylev. This is the Chaylev that's Asur to eat Midaraisa. So if you have a piece of Chaylev and a piece of Shuman, also a piece of fat from an animal, the same animal, but some of the fat is mutter to eat, some of the fat is asur to eat. So one aid from Weissfish could come and say, look, this is mutter for you to eat. But that's only because the Isur was never established. We have no idea. Is this mutter or asur? Comes an Eid Echad and says, it's a mutter. Oh, it's mutter, fine. I could accept the Eidus. But by a woman, it's chazik Isur deishisish. Everybody knows she's married. We're all by her chasima. There's an Eidim that she got married. So right now, she has a chazaka, she's an eishisish. You ask anybody, they'll tell you she's asur to the whole world. And another thing is, now she becomes a davar shebe'erva. Anything that has to do with Eishesish and Erva, you need at least two. It's not a regular Isser of eating and Chaylev and Trumas Maisros. This is Davar Shebe'erva. Says the Gemara. So you're asking me, why is one eight believed? It's Davar Shebe'erva. Says the Gemara, no. Bidinu, they became shtar stam boy. At the end of the day, we don't need anybody to authenticate a shtar. Zero. Kidder Rish Lakish. Domer Rish Lakish, Edem Achasum al Shtar, Nasu, Kemi, Shenechker, Edusim Bebezdin. We have halacha, famous Rish Lakish, that when you have Edem in a Shtar, it's as if Bezdin were Doirish and Chayker. They looked into it. A person, says Rashi, Leichotzef Inish, He's not going to say that it's mezuyif. They went through it. There was a Maisa with Reb Chatzkel Levenstein. He was in England and he testified in court. And the judge asked him, "Do you have the authority do you represent all the Jews?" He said, "Yes, I represent all the Jews." So the judge said, "Rabbi, maybe a little humility." He said, "I'm under oath. I have to say the truth." When you're in Bezdin, you say the truth. The Chakira and the Drisha, they go all the way to the bottom of it. Another Maisa Shkemataya, the guy in Israel, he was forging shkalim. And there's a guy also forging dollars. And they couldn't catch these guys. The Shin Bet was going nuts. They couldn't find these guys until somebody snitched on them. And the judge, he said, "Okay, you forged dollars, I'm putting you in jail for 10 years. And you that forged shkalim, are you meshuga? You have a machine that can forge dollars and you forge shkalim? I'm putting you based meshugayim." I think to myself, such a gewaltige Maisa, because many of us have super talents, and you know what we do with our talents? We forge shkalim. We don't take advantage of our talents. And it's a big nebach, it's a big rachmanas on us. Some of us deserve to go to Beis Mishagayim. Zog the Gemara. So Nachamal, mamish the same thing that we had before. It's only Rabbanan who said that you have to come and authenticate the shtar, but l'maisa you don't have to authenticate. Once Bezin looks at a shtar and sees two witnesses on it, Shalom Yisrael. Says Gemara, Aikulu, Chumru. The magic is late trade. Same question we started off the Amud with. If you're going to require two, Yosef Maru Pasalei. But Chad, Osibal Maru Pasalei. It's not good to say that you don't need two. You should require two, then the husband won't have any pischim pet. But now that you say that one is enough, he'll come and he'll be married. Says the Gemara, Kividom Mamar, Vnikam Noisala, Rebbe Chanina, Mamish, word for word that we had before. So the shliach is going to do a great job. He's going to look into it, and we have nothing to be concerned. Great. Now the Gemara asks, go back to Rabba and Rava. Rabbi, so when do you say Tfilas Hashlah? Huh? Tonight? Tomorrow? Why tomorrow? Got it. Okay, I was just asking. No, because I'm thinking to myself, we all look for zgulas and zgulas upon zgulas, and we say Tfilas Hashlah. You know what the biggest zgula is? To be an example to your children. And learning the daf in front of your kids, there's no greater example. When they see that you're into Torah and Torah is the ikir, and no matter what, you're learning, 1,000 times more than all Tfilas Hashlah. Rava, who says that the problem is that we need Eidim, and you came from a faraway place. There's no Eidim. The Gemara said yesterday, even from this place to that place, in Chutz La'aretz, not Chutz La'aretz, if it's far, maybe even Eretz Yisrael, if there's no She'aros Mitzuyos, whatever it is, you need to say B'fanei Nechta. Why does he use Rabba's idea of Lishma? Maybe you need to say B'fanei Nechta because we need to make sure that it was written correctly. If the whole point was the idea of Lishma, then you missed the whole thing. The word Lishma should be in the words. B'fanai nechtav l'shma, or b'fanai nechtam l'shma. It doesn't say the word l'shma. So obviously we don't care about the l'shma right now. Obviously, we do care, but that's not what he's coming to testify. What we care about is that there should be Eidim, and I am authenticating this shtar by saying b'fanai nechtav, not l'shma. B'fanai nechtav. Zog the Gemara. Virabba, very good kasha. Bedinu de listen to You're right. He really should. It should say that you say b'fanei nechtav l'shma or b'fanei nechtav l'shma. Elo di'i mafshes le'diburei. If you make him say too many words, osi l'migzei. He might forget one of the words. If you give him 2 words to say, 2 words times 2, b'fanei nechtav is 2 words, b'fanei nechtav is 2 words, but a person, he's not going to chop off one word. What is he going to say? B'fanei? Yeah, I forgot how the Maisa goes. I'll say it real quick. A guy, back in the day, a lot of the young people have no idea, but back in the day, remember when the phone call from America to Israel cost $45 a minute? So people used to write telegrams, and that was $20 a word. So a guy wrote to his friend, to his uncle, I'm inviting you to the chassan of Bruchi, she's getting married. And he says, what do you mean, sugar? It's thousands of dollars. Okay, so he knows that I have Bruchi, so I'm not going to take out Bruchi. So he took out Bruchi. He says, I'm inviting you to the chassan. You know what? Of course it's a chassan. What, it's not a bar mitzvah. So I'm inviting you. Because by the time he was done, he had no words. That's what happened over here. He shows up, befanai. Nobody does befanai. So you have to say befanai nechtav. Great. But the befanai nechtav l'shma, he might forget the word l'shma. No, and if he forgets the word l'shma, what's the big deal? So right now also he's trying to say that befanai nechtav l'shma. Right? What's the whole point? The whole point is that he's saying that it was written in front of me l'shma. But if we would force him to say the word l'shma and he doesn't say it, now it's a big boo-boo. Why? Check this out. Rashi says, Kol ha-mishanim im-metbeah shetovu chachamim. Oh, let's go there. Begittin, havlad mamzer. Once I institute that you have to say 3 words and you say 2 words, the vlad is a mamzer. If the woman gets divorced with a get that the person messed up on one word, kid is a mamzer. So let's take out the word l'shma. Now he can mess up as much as he wants. Says Rashi, and now I'll faher him. Afterwards, I'll go over him. Was it l'shma? Yeah, l'shma. Okay, great. But don't make him say it, because if he says it wrong, just one word off, unbelievable. Zog the Gemara. Hashanami Oslam Migze. I just chapped it right and said the whole thing before. But right now, there's 2 words. He's going to chop it off. He's going to say 1. Chadim et las guys. 1 out of 3 might forget. Chadim et tartele guys. I wasn't going to say this, but then I realized I'm part of this joke. This guy, Rahman al-Islam, discovered that he has Alzheimer's. So he told his family, I'm very happy. I love Alzheimer's. It's geschmack. There's 3 very, very cool things about Alzheimer's, he said. He says, the first thing is that I get to meet new people every day and new places every day. The second thing is, he says, I get to meet new people every day and new places every day. And the third thing, I forgot. So I'm like, it's not so nice. But I was sitting in this podcast today. Last talk, what is it called? It's like the biggest Hasidic podcast. What? Latest talk. Should know. It's not in, the whole thing is in Yiddish besides the name of the podcast. Okay. Bemis, they speak only Yiddish. I'm the first guest that I started talking to them in Yiddish. They said, you know what? You're terrible. Stop it. Just go to English. Fine. So the guy said, I saw that you had this clip that you were making fun of Brooklyn. I used to live in Brooklyn. I'm asking to you 100%. And it happens to be that clip. I say, move to Monsey. Why don't you just live in Monsey? Have a nice, beautiful backyard and a front yard, this and that. Why do people live in Brooklyn? And he looks at me and goes, what does the Gemara say? I'm like, I don't know. That was 2 days ago. How am I supposed to remember? So the word is Chen Yoshua or something like that. Chen Yishvel. I forgot completely. Why? So the Gemara says if you have 3 words, you forget 1. By me, if you have 2 words, I forget them both. It's the Gemara. Chadim las goyes, chadim etar delay goyes. Fine. Zod Gemara. V'Rabba my time alone Karava. Rabba says the problem is the reason why he says b'fanei nechtam is because l'shma, to make sure that it's written properly for the woman. How come he doesn't say Rava's pshat? It's a gevaldik pshat. You have to authenticate the get. So you should come and say b'fanei nechtam for authentication purposes. Why does it say b'fanei nechtav? B'fanei nechtav lamali. If the whole thing is authentication, where's the authentication? All the way at the end, by the chasima. So talk about the chasima. B'fanei nechtam, it was signed in front of me, and Shama Yisrael. Why does it have to talk about that it was written in front of him? How is that important? What's important is that it was signed by Eidim, and I'm going to authenticate the Eidos. V'rava, but didn't do this now. You're right. It's a great point. It should have really said that. I'm going to get confused, and I'm going to say that another star, any star, you owe me $1 million, 1/8 is enough. Look, by a get 1/8 is enough, so all the stars in the world are enough. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to think that all stars 1/8 is enough. So that's why I make you say other stuff, to show you that we're very different than a regular star. It's not a regular star. This is something, you say a funny word, you say funny words, b'fanei nechtav. Okay. Rabba, me dummy? Why would I get confused? Why would I confuse a get with a regular star? Look how different it is than everything else. Hasam yedinan. A regular star, it's enough that the Eidim, they'll say, we recognize the chasimas. Hacha b'fanai. Over here, it's not enough. What the Gemara is going to say in a second, it is enough in a star, in a get, to say, we recognize the Eidos. Okay, but the Gemara now understands that a get is different. You have to say, b'fonai. Hasam ishaloi mehemna. A regular star that says, Ruvain owes Shimon $1 million, you can't trust the woman. Hacha isha mehemna. A woman could testify, I'm a shliach, a shlicha, I don't know how you say it in Hebrew. How do you say, Gershon? How do you say a shliach woman? Shlicha? Shlicha. Okay. You take, I was in Chutz La'aretz, I'm bringing a get for my friend. B'fanai nechtav. It's good. Also, Hasam bal davar mehemen. If a husband tells his wife, you're not megureshes until you bring the get, lemashal. The guy is so fed up with his wife, he says, you want a divorce? Great, I'll give you a divorce, just get out of here. As soon as I find out from you that you're in a different country, it's chal. That's what he did. He says, bring it to Eretz Yisrael, then it's a get. She could come and say, this is my get. You can't have the baldover, a malva, bringing a star into bed and say, oh, I lent plenty money. Here, look. You're the baldover. So Rav addresses the first difference, not the other two. He doesn't care about the other two. But the bottom line is that the Gemara says, look at the difference. A regular star, a person could say, Yadinan, we recognize the signatures. By get, you can't. Says Rav, of course you could. By get, you could also. Anyway, so there's no difference between a get and something else, so you get confused. We argue. And therefore, says Rava, now it's going back to my time that I had before, you're going to get confused between other stars. That's why I have to say b'fanei nechtav or b'fanei nechtam. You're right. B'fanei nechtam should have been enough. But it's not enough because people are going to get confused between a get and a regular star. So I add in other words. Think about it for a second. Rava says the Edom come to say one thing, that the get was written properly for this woman. Now wait a minute. What part of the get was written properly? The writing, when the Sofer wrote it, or the Edom? Who holds that you need both? So we're going to have to find the Tana. We're not going to find him today. Daf Gimel Amud Beis. If Yosef was here, he would kill me for not having the name. Anybody know who's sponsoring Turning of the Daf? Greg Haber, no? Greg Haber is a great guy. Englewood. What do we say? HBA. Wow. Together, we'll put it together. No? Sponsored by Greg Haber, Hatzlacha Parnasa of the HBA group, and Rav Eli. And all the people who do the Daf. Yishkoya. Yay. We did it. Wow. We have some people that watch the Daf. I have to tell you that this crowd is different than last night's crowd. This crowd, most of the people in the room are people that have been doing the Daf with us for a while. In fact, I want to ask Doyle if it's possible, if you are with us since Masechtas Brachas or even Shabbos, please stand up. How many people are here since Masechtas Brachas Shabbos? Wow. That's incredible. At least 1 million people. It's unbelievable. Wow. Shkoyach. And there's a few shy people that didn't stand up, right? If you're a shy person, you didn't stand up, please stand up on your chair now. Okay. Let's go weiter. I'm all excited. We're almost done. So let's see. Who holds that you need Lishma with the writing and Lishma with the Chasima of Data? Chasima boy, ksiva loy boy. By the way, there's a Maisa that there's a guy that went to Cave of Rashbi, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, big gvir, and he hears, Ramayel Billyack said this Maisa. It's a Maisa Shkamatayim Mustama. It could be a true story, maybe. I think he said it was a true story. The gvir walks in there and he hears a poor guy screaming, Rashbi, make sure the Rebbeinu Shalom gives me $50,000. He's screaming. So the guy, he's mad. That's how you talk to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. Give me $50,000. That's what you care about. What about chinuch and shombay? $50,000. So he goes to the guy. He says, Tzaddik, I hear you need $50,000. Yeah. Where do you live? He tells him an address somewhere in the Meishar. He says, okay, very good. Okay, fine. So this guy, this Gvir, decided to pull a practical joke. He's so upset at this Ani, chutzpah talks like that he took out his checkbook and wrote out a $50,000 check and signed Rav Shimon Bar Yochai on the bottom and sent it to him. A few days later, he sees a withdrawal from his bank for $50,000. What happened? He was so furious when he wrote the check and he was so excited about this prank that he signed his own name. He forgot to sign Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. So anyways, it's very, very important to sign your name, and it's important to do it Lishma. Lishma, in this case, was Lishma of the Ani or whatever. Fine. So who holds that you need to sign your name and have intent? Chasimi boy, ksiva boy. According to Meir, check this out. We had this pasuk yesterday. We're going to have this pasuk throughout Masechtas Gittin. The kasav law sefer krisus. You write to her. When you write the get, it has to be to her. But what does it mean? What part of the get are we talking about? The Meir says it's not pshutika mashma. It's not the way you think it is. It's not the ksiva of Donald Ben Trump. Not that part. The part all the way in the bottom. The chasima. That's the main part. And why? He holds chasima, boy, ksiva loy boy. You don't need the shma on the actual writing. This nan, and I'll prove it. In koisim b'mechubel karka, you cannot write a get that's. Let me just make sure he didn't. Okay, no. Can't write a get that's attached to a tree. Let's say write a get on a watermelon. But what if you did? You cut it off, chasamai, and then you signed it, unasanaloi, kosher. This is Remeir. Remeir holds that as long as you signed it when it's not attached to the ground, then it's okay. The problem is the chasima. So what do you see from here? Rameir only holds that the signatures have to be properly done. In other words, the lishma also has to be on the chasima and not on the ksiva. So it can't be Rameir. Why? Because Rameir doesn't hold that the ksiva has to be lishma. So why do you have to say b'fanei nechtav? Only b'fanei nechtav. Rebbe Lazar ksiva bay chasima loy bay. Rebbe Lazar holds you don't even need a chasima. You don't need it. As long as you have witnesses that say we saw the husband giving the get, that's enough. They don't have to be written inside the get. Oh. So it can't be Rameir, it can't be Rebbe Lazar. Who holds that you need both? Ksiva and Chasima Lishma. Rebbe Lazar, it is Rebbe Lazar. Maybe he's only referring to the Deraisa halacha. Mikrat, the Rabbanan Bay. Maybe he holds in the Rabbanan, you do need the chasima also, and that's why the Edom say, the Eid says, the Shliach says, there are 3 Gittin that are only possible, the Rabbanon, and Rebbe Lazar says even the Chatchili you could give them the Snan, Shleisha Gittin Psulim. There's 3 Gittin, V'mnisis of Lat Kosher, but if she uses it after the fact, nothing happened, the kid is not a mount. If a husband wrote a get with his own handwriting, Vein al Avedim. Here, l'chatchila, you don't need to go to the cipher, spend the 500 shekel that I spent on this get. Just take out a piece of paper, write, I read in Gereshes, Vein al Avedim. She could get married, l'chatchila, Yesh al Avedim ein boizman. A second one is, you have witnesses, but you don't have the time. Yesh boizman, vein boyel echad. If there's only one aid, why is that enough? You're not going to believe this. Because the cipher who was told by the husband to write the get, he's mitzdaref as an aid in this case. And that's good enough. The apostle, it's a apostle get, but if you go ahead and get married with that get, you're okay. Comes with you don't need Eidim, you just gave it to him in front of Eidim. It's kosher. So he holds that l'chatchila you can get married without Eidim. So you can't tell me that he holds that midrabanan you need Eidim. You don't need Eidim b'chlal. So what I'm showing Rashi is that if a person borrows money and there's a good shtar, a valid shtar that he borrowed money, he can no longer sell his property without having a lien on the loan. Yeah, person borrowed $1 million. And he has a house. And he goes and he sells the house. The house goes back to the person that lent him the money. Right? But it has to be a good shtar. You can't just borrow money, balpeh. It has to be with a shtar, with Eidim and everything. This shtar that doesn't have Eidim, that's good enough. So if I borrow $1 million without Eidim on the shtar, this is a shtar, no Eidim, and then I sell my property, the property goes back to the guy I borrowed the money from. Because he holds you don't need Eidim. It's only to correct the world that if the Eidim on the shtar die, on the get die, so the woman is not going to have proof that she's divorced. Now she's going to be in big tsaras. So we say that they should sign. So now the Gemara goes back and forth, and neither of these. We're going to have a new Tana. It's going to be a surprise who it is tomorrow. Maybe the pshat is that Rameir says the Ikir's chasima has to be with Eidim, with Lishma. But that's only Midiraisa. But Midrabanan, even the ksiva has to be Lishma. Maybe he holds that. If a person found a get in the garbage, I got to tell you the story, even though it's very similar to the other story, but it's a Givaldic story. This is a real story. And I thought about this before the other story, so I got to tell you the story. I'm sure a lot of you know it, but there's a good Musa Haskell here. There was an Einakol that kept on hearing from his bubby that she has tremendous back problems, big backaches. He decided to surprise her. He went and he searched high and low for the best mattress possible. And he found out it's this mattress, he pushed this button, it goes this way, that way. it's going to cure all her issues. He waited one day, she went shopping, he sneaks in with a truck, takes out the old shmata mattress from 40 years ago, puts in the brand new mattress, and he waits for his Bubby to come home. And she comes home and he's so excited, he's going to show her the beautiful gift he got her. Bubby, take a look. She hears, she's watched, she sees, she falls on her face, faints. She wakes up, she says, my entire life savings, millions of dollars, I put into that mattress. And what did you do with it? Zrokoy ba'ashpa. He threw it in the garbage. Ma'aseh shaya. There was hundreds of people that descended on the dumps. Unfortunately, they told too many people, so the garbage man probably took it and went home with it. Never found it. Zrokoy ba'ashpa. Rabbi say, we're all zrokoy ba'ashpa. Why? We have such opportunities. And if you're one of those new guys that's on the brink thinking, should I come to the daf, should I not come to the daf? Don't be that guy that throws out $1 million, $100 million into the garbage. I'm giving you the opportunity. Here's your mattress, a good mattress. Geschmack, this will change your life. Don't do it. Don't regret it. Don't throw it into the garbage. Here it is. Chapa Gemara, sign up. You'll thank me later. So the mice is like this. We're almost done. Rameir says, if you find the get in the garbage can, and it has the same name as your wife, you know, you're one of those guys that didn't really want to divorce your wife, but you know, to save 55 shekel sounds like a good idea, you know? Now that it has my wife's name on it, for free, I might consider it. And you give it to her, kosher. Why? Because you signed it. Chasama, he signed it. All you need to do is sign it. Maybe this halacha, finding it in the garbage and signing it is good enough, but only midiraisa. Midirabbanan doesn't work. Then the Tana that's repeating this, he should have been very, very, very specific. So Memela, the fact that he didn't say this halacha straight out, that what? That don't use this halacha today, because with the Rabbani you shouldn't do it. He didn't mention that. He said Rameir holds it's a great get. You find it in the garbage, it has your wife's name, it has your name, it has your city and everything. All you need to do is sign and give it to your wife. You saved $100. Zeraya, the Rameir holds that you don't have to, all you need is a chasima, you don't need to ksiv l'shma. Rabbi said, before you run anywhere, let's do a group picture. And let's daven Ma'ariv. Have you ever daven Ma'ariv 500 people together? It's Givaldi. Nobody moved yet. Hold on. I will say, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. But it doesn't mean you should get up.